And we back to cover day 2 of the Las Vegas Summer League. My name is Kenny, also known as King of the Fourth Quarter, and we got a lot of basketball to talk about. Day 2 featured 10 different games, but the way I'm going to do this one, we're going to talk about 3 games in particular. The 3 games that I thought were the most entertaining or that featured some of the top prospects. The first game was between New York Knicks and the Atlanta Hawks. Now, I was excited for this one because this will be my first viewing of lottery pick Kevin Knox. When he was drafted, it was one thing that was certain as far as consensus around the draft experts, that this guy will be able to score the ball. More on the shooting side, but he was a very raw prospect. And I was pleasantly surprised to see that he was a lot faster than I expected. He was a lot more athletic than I was expecting. And that's a good thing, because athleticism is something that you really can't coach. You know, if a player comes into the league as an unathletic player, he's probably going to stay that way throughout his entire career. But when you see a guy that has athleticism but can also score the balls in other ways, that's always really good. Now, I know on television through the draft night, we had the Knicks fans that were booing Kevin Knox. But from every Knicks fan that I talked to after the draft, they were pretty okay with this draft pick. So don't let the media of showing those booing Knicks fans represent the entire Knicks fandom. A lot of players or a lot of fans were definitely excited to have Kevin Knox, and I could say he definitely impressed me. The point guard of the future for them, Frank Ntilikina, didn't really do that. He didn't really impress me from this first game. I was excited to see year number 2 after 1 year in the NBA. If you didn't know, in the offseason, he grew an inch, he put on some muscle, and all the workouts that you've seen from him over the offseason, it looks like he was going to have a more polished offensive game. We didn't really see that. One thing we will know from Frank Ntilikina is that he's an elite defender, and you saw that. But as far as offensively, didn't really impress too much. One guy that did impress, though, was Mitchell Robinson. He was a guy that was an McDonald's All-American, committed somewhere in college, but decided, you know what? I don't want to play college ball. I'm just going to take this year to become the best player I can and enter the draft. He fell from a McDonald's All-American to a second-round pick. The Knicks snagged him up, and wow, he looked very, very good. I think he's going to be a player for them because of his defensive capabilities. When it comes to the Knicks right now, I mean, their center, since they lost O'Quinn, is an ass cancer. Not that good of a defender. Actually, one of the worst defending big men in the league. So to have a guy like that, though he is a rookie, will be promising from them. Now, on the other side of the ball, we have the Atlanta Hawks. This is not their first time in Summer League. They played in the Utah Summer League. And they're in Utah. Their lottery pick, Trae Young, didn't look too great. You know, he shot 22% from the field. And in that last game in Utah, I felt like that his confidence was kind of shot. Game 1 here in Las Vegas, he had a good game. Sure, you can look at his percentages and say he didn't shoot the ball well, but he had a good game. Even when his shot is not falling, one thing that Trae Young is going to prove to the public is that he can be an elite playmaker. You know, he draws a lot of attention because a lot of people understand that if his shot is going, he is a very dangerous player. So when he gives you an up fake and gets to the rim, whether it be drawing a foul or dish it to a teammate, he's always going to have that in his game. So I think that when the media puts the spotlight on him saying he could be the next Steph Curry, gives the public high expectations when I don't think they should be that high considering how good of a player Steph Curry really is. But Trae Young, I was happy to see him come out in the first game in Las Vegas and play well. Also playing well for their team, John Collins. I think year 2 for John Collins as far as the regular season is going to be a good one. He shows that not only is he an athletic freak, but he can stretch the floor. And we got glimpses of that in the regular season last year, but this time his shot looks more fluid, and that's good. And again, like I mentioned in yesterday's video, you want your year 2 guys to be the best guys there. And John Collins showed that he kind of was the best guy on the court for a majority of that game. So that game was just super exciting for me to see all the players that I hadn't seen before. But let's move over to game 2. In the second game that we're going to be talking about, have the 2 top picks from the 2018 draft class going head to head. Ayton versus Bagley. I gotta say, the first half of the game for Bagley, he looked kind of disinterested. I guess is the best way to put it. He didn't look like he really wanted to play. And that's kind of the question mark when it comes to Bagley. Does he have the motor to be one of the best bigs in the league? He has all the intangibles. He has all the tools, but does he have the motor to want to do that? And in the first half, it left me questioning that too. But in the second half, he turned it up to another notch, finished with 21 points, and then it looked very, very effortless too. You know, I think the guy could be special. Again, it's just that motor. Is that motor good enough to get him to be a great player in the NBA? On the other side of the ball, we had the Sacramento Kings, Marvin Bagley, and it was cool to see them matched up. Former teammates from high school, and Bagley did what he did also in Utah. You know, he played pretty well. He played pretty well. These are our top 2 draft picks, so you're going to hear me saying that they play well because the reason that they were the top 2 draft picks. Other than the top 2 picks from last year, there were a few guys that I was happy to see playing well, and one of them being Harry Giles. With all of the surgeries that he went through his rookie season, I was super excited to see him finally on the court. And defensively, he looked really well. Even offensively, he looked well. He shot a 3 that I didn't even know he had in his game. And he didn't finish with 5 steals or so, you know, when he was matched up against some of the bigger guys like Ayton or even like Peters, who's like a huge body. I think he stood his own. And Sacramento has a pretty decent core if they can keep these guys healthy and keep them going. On the Suns side of the ball, we got Josh Jackson. You know, Josh Jackson was known for one thing his rookie season, that's being extremely athletic and playing some good defense, and we got that. You know, we got that. We need him to develop a jump shot over the next couple years of his career, but you know, he had some great defensive plays there too. And the last game that we want to talk about is Chicago Bulls versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. We talked about the Cavs in yesterday's video, but now they're going against the Bulls. And we get to see 2 lottery picks go at it again in Colin Sexton and Wendell Carter Jr. And man, was I impressed with Carter Jr. If you do not know, I am a Bulls fan, born and raised in Chicago, have the Bulls logo tattooed on my leg like I am a diehard Bulls fan. And to see him play and play so well in his first official game made me extremely happy. One of the biggest question marks for me when we drafted him was, with their size, can him and Lauri Markkanen play together? And I think they can, because defensively, Carter Jr. was incredible. You know, I felt like when he switched onto guards even, he stayed flat-footed. He didn't really jump on a lot of the up fakes that Colin Sexton was giving him on the switches. I was extremely impressed with his game. And even on the offensive end, there was a specific play where he got an offensive rebound and he dribbled out to the corner 3 and knocked down a 3. I'm extremely excited to see what the Bulls end up doing for next season with these young pieces and everything, but I gotta say, I'll be tuning into all 82 regular season games, going to a few. Now, another guy on the Chicago Bulls roster that I've been a fan of for a while, that's Antonio Blakeney. I went to many Windy City Bulls games when he played for our G League squad here, so I'm well aware of the player that he is. He's always been a player, at least for his rookie season, to be able to score the ball really well. In the Summer League last year, he did that, and in the first game of Summer League this year, he did that too. I hope that we give him a bona fide spot. Now, on the other side of the ball, we got Colin Sexton. This was his better game. You know, he had a better game than yesterday. On the first half, it's kind of quiet. And in the second half, he had like 5 or 6 plays in order where he's either dishing off to a teammate for an assist or he's going up for a bucket. The guy's impressive. The guy's impressive. I don't really agree with the rat tail in the back of his head, but that's something that can be fixed later, all right? Also, Ayton Vs is still pretty dominant, you know? We mentioned it yesterday, like, man, he could be really good. And after 2 games of watching him, he may be getting minutes over Tristan Thompson next year, since this is a team that's not trying to compete and Tristan Thompson maybe don't fit their timeline. He was kind of bully balling. Yeah, not kind of bully balling. He was bully balling. I had to Google it. He's listed as 6'11", and Wendell Carter Jr. is listed as 6'10", but I can honestly say he looks so much bigger because he's kind of a wider frame and a little bit more muscle and everything, and he used that to his advantage in the first Summer League game and in the second Summer League game. And I gotta commend a guy that's using his physical tools to be as good as he can be. Thank you so much for watching the recap of day 2 in the Summer League. You'll hear from me in the next 24 hours or so as we talk about day 3. Thank y'all so much. Peace.